Hello, everyone. I'm Tionni, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 46 of Two Tickets, One Theme. I love to introduce my little diva of a husband, Jonathan.
What? I am not a diva. How dare you? Hello, everyone.
Diva is not the female version.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to the month of April. This month, we're diving headfirst into the adventure genre and dusting off some classic, chaotic journeyman gems. Compared to our last episode, we're taking a more serious turn in the adventure genre. This time, we're following one of the most iconic heroines in modern storytelling, Katniss Everdeen, as we dive into the Hunger Games.
It's definitely way more serious than our last episode.
You don't think this is similar
Without
to Bill and
no, hell no. This is definitely different, and yeah, let's get to it. Now it's time for a quick rundown of movie facts in the segment we call Movie Trailer. The Hunger Games is a tense adventure film based on the best-selling novel of the same name. It was released on March 23rd, 2012, and directed by Gary Ross, who also co-wrote the screenplay alongside Suzanne Collins and Billy Ray.
It is rated PG-13 and has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 84% critics and 81% audience. How do you think those ratings line up with this movie, Jonathan? Just a broad, because we don't want to give the review.
Yeah,
but
I think it's dead on.
Is that on?
Yeah, I mean, I probably like the movie more than the audience and critics, but I think it's a good score.
Okay. Here's a synopsis of the film from IMDb. Katniss Everdeen voluntarily takes her younger sister's place in the Hunger Games, a televised competition in which two teenagers from each of the 12 districts of Panem are chosen at random to fight to the death.
We're almost at showtime, so take your seats as Tionni and I break down the Hunger Games scene by scene. If you haven't watched it yet, now's your chance. This is your official spoiler warning.
But before we get into the plot, let's take a quick detour for some fun Hunger Games facts. Today's fact segment is called Are You Hungry for Some Hunger Games Facts? Jonathan will start with the first fact, and Jonathan loved that title, right?
Oh, ChatGPT, you didn't, you failed us.
That was me.
That was you? No way.
Lately, I've been doing these.
Okay, are you hungry for some Hunger
me.
Game facts?
Wow.
Sorry, Tionni.
That was so mean.
It just seemed like something.
I'm just trying to use my brain and not rely on AI for everything. Okay.
I apologize.
That's really
it's
That's
an amazing.
Fine. Go ahead. Butcher your first
title.
fact. Go.
It was the first film not released by one of the main 6 studios, such as 20th Century Fox, Walt Disney Pictures, Paramount Pictures, Warner Brothers, Columbia Pictures, or Universal Pictures, to gross over $400 million in the United States. On February 22nd, 4 weeks before this movie release, Lionsgate began selling advance tickets. Not only did the ticket sale break the one-day record originally held by the Twilight Saga's Eclipse film from 2010, but they also accounted for 83% of the day's ticket sales.
The fictional state in the film is called Panem. This is derived from Panem et circenses. Hey, I don't know Latin, whatever. Or bread in circuses, which comes from the latter days of the Roman Empire when the state kept the masses satisfied only with cheap food and popular entertainment.
That is clever.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see pan now, I think about pan.
Okay, well there you go. Panem and pan. I mean, all languages like kind of share words.
Right. Jennifer Lawrence was initially reluctant to take the role of Katniss due to the book franchise's popularity and how the role would be a big change of her personal life. And she was unsure how it would affect her career since her background was mainly on the indie film circuit.
And so she wasn't ready for the popularity. She's about to become a global superstar.
I mean, we think about actors like Josh Hartnett, right? He didn't like that he was being as famous as he was.
Yeah, so he stepped back. Yeah,
he definitely was on his way to being an A-list actor.
Yeah, I think he was in talks to be Batman.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
No. Yeah, he didn't want it. The Hunger Games has often been compared to Battle Royale, though Suzanne Collins says she hadn't encountered it before writing her book. She cites the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur, where Athens was forced to send youths into a deadly labyrinth, as a major influence, along with reality TV and war coverage. Others note similar themes in earlier works like Lord of the Flies and The Running Man, and I think I saw The Long Walk. So they definitely thought her work was derivative of a lot of other materials that existed.
I mean, I don't think it's exact. I think it's still a clever spin off of those stories.
Right.
I could
It's
see, I
definitely
could see, I could
original.
see some
Yeah.
similarities, but they're not. It's not. It's definitely different
Yeah,
overall.
she created, I don't know, I've never read any of these stories, but I've seen some of the movies and she created districts. I don't think that's something I saw, like people being separated into 12 districts. She created a lot of like things within the world that we'll get into more, that like mocking jays and tracker jackers and nightlock berries. That's not something that was in these books, so she
Yeah.
still used her creativity
Right.
for this
Right.
world.
I mean, it all has to connect, and this is only the first part of three stories.
Everybody's inspired by somebody else.
Right.
Like, come on.
I mean, I don't see the relation to Lord of the Flies. Definitely Running Man. I can see.
I can see Running Man. I can see The Long Walk. They all have that story of like it's an apocalyptic time, and the way for people to make money or get food is by putting their youngest into a very harrowing situation. So that's, but obviously she's not the only one that keeps telling the same story. So, all right. So shall we, Jonathan, get into this film?
Let's do it.
We see a host. His name is Caesar Flickerman, played by the amazing Stanley Tucci. He's interviewing game maker Seneca Crane, played by Wes Bentley, and he's asking about Hunger Games, just what it is, the history behind it, everything else. So he's just discussing the background of the Hunger Games, why they do them now. A very quick scene. It doesn't really get too into the nitty gritty of what the Hunger Games are, but you know if you're in the book. It cuts to District 12, which is one of the poorest regions in Panem. Katniss Everdeen, played by Jennifer Lawrence, is with her sister Primrose, played by Willow Shields, and Primrose is waking up from a very bad dream. She is having a bad dream. Why, Jonathan? You guess why she's having a bad dream?
I mean, they're about to select tributes.
And what is it for her? What is it? Why is it significant for her? They always select tributes every year.
Oh, because she's of age?
Yes, this is her first year being put into that lottery system, and she's now old enough to compete and to be a part of that, what they call the reaping, to join the Hunger Games. And how old is she? I don't remember like the age that you can be entered. She looks like 12,
I don't know.
like 12,
I was
13.
gonna think 40. I was gonna guess 14. I have no idea.
I don't know. Some of them look really young. I would say 12, 13. You're old enough to be
Yeah.
in the reaping. So she has a nightmare, and as you see, it might be a little bit of a premonition, that she has the chance of getting her name drawn to actually compete in the Hunger Games. But Katniss is nearby. She sees that her sister is having a nightmare. She comforts her and tells her the odds of her being picked are slim because it is her first year. And obviously, Katniss is older. I think she's supposed to be 16. But she's like, I've been in this for like a few years, and my name has never been drawn. So what are the odds that your name's going to be drawn? So after that, he feels like Prim is in a good spot, feels better. He heads into the woods. Katniss picks up her bow and arrow, and it's hidden behind a tree in the woods, and she illegally hunts. Jonathan, do you know why it's illegal to hunt?
Maybe it's just illegal to hunt during these times. They didn't really go into the fact why it's illegal to hunt. It just seems like they're in hiding, and she's doing it very sneakily too. So I was like, all right, so
Maybe they want the people of Panem in the districts to suffer. Like
sure.
they want to be the ones to provide the food. Like
I'm
if
sure. I'm sure they
you
have.
don't get the food, you don't get the sustenance,
I'm
pretty
sure they
much.
have some very BS reason and law, and that would be the reason. But
Yeah,
they'll have a made up reason to make it make sense.
right. But we find out that Katniss is very good with her bow and arrow, and she's a very skilled hunter, and she has amazing tracking abilities. So, fact, Jennifer Lawrence is left-handed in real life, but in the movie she appears right-handed because she had to learn to do everything with her right hand, including shooting with a bow and arrow.
It's
So,
annoying.
yeah. Huh? Did you say?
That would be a little annoying.
Oh yeah, of course. But I feel like actors do like a lot of
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
that's like I guess it is a bare minimum. Like
Yeah.
you're not learning how to do martial arts or
I don't think that's bare
write
minimum.
write
Learning how to properly shoot a bow and arrow and then with the hand that's not dominant.
I mean, but thinking about those people that had to do way more than that.
Yeah, I guess. I always think it's amazing how these actors like are able to learn something in such a short amount of time for a movie that
Like
they're gonna do and then be done with eventually.
I'm always
This movie,
amazed.
she had to be Katniss for
at least 3 more films after this, but, some people just do 1 movie and they did all that work, you
I
know?
was amazed when the actor is like, I have no experience being a stuntman, but I want to do my own stunts."
Right. Alright, so we meet her friend Gail, who's played by Liam Hemsworth, and as I was watching this movie, I was like, "Damn, what happened to Liam? I haven't seen Liam in a long time." I haven't seen him in anything.
He's
Huh,
probably just comfortable living off his brother's wealth.
dang, he had his own
I'm
career in the
kidding, Liam.
2010s, jeez,
I'm just totally
so
kidding.
mean.
I
Um,
I feel like if he wanted to act, he would be in things.
alright, yeah, that's true. He interrupts her just as she's about to kill a deer to feed her family. Like, she's just about to get some food, and he, like, kinda stops her short, and she misses.
Oh,
Uh,
damn.
Gale reminds her that there are peacemakers nearby and that she should be careful, and just as he says that, we see a helicopter flying very closely overhead making a mess because 'cause they're getting ready to land in District 12, and it is probably full of peacemakers. And Jonathan, what do peacemakers look like to you?
Nice. No,
Wow.
I'm kidding. What peacemakers look like? They look like they just look like they're all covered. You can't really see their faces.
Wow, I was gonna say they remind me of stormtroopers. I thought you'd be on the
Oh
same
yeah,
page.
stormtroopers. They
They
are dressed
definitely
in white too.
function
Yeah.
as stormtroopers, which is why I say people gain different things from a whole bunch of different texts because they definitely remind me of
I didn't think
stormtroopers.
stormtroopers because they don't really have armor like that. But
Mhm.
I mean, like not armor like what you see is for stormtroopers, but they have like different types of like gear.
And are they peacemakers, do you think?
I'm sure they think they are.
They're more like order keepers.
Right.
Like, they when they come,
Exactly. That's what they
you
are.
keep people in line, yeah. Um, alright, so you learn about the Capitol, and the Capitol is basically the government during this apocalyptical time, is that how you say that word? They're the government, and they enforce control over 12 districts, even survival activities like hunting are forbidden. So there you go. They want these people to die. Whatever uprising they participated in years ago, they want them to suffer. And part of that is making it even harder for them to survive. Why can't they hunt? Why can't they get their own food? No, you have to rely on whatever is rationed to you,
You
which
see,
is probably not a lot.
the higher number the district is, the more poor the people are.
Also, 12 is the poorest. 12 is the poorest?
Is
Yeah,
there
because like
13?
district 1 and 2 are like a little bit more
They're how
connected to
both.
the capital because they're
Right.
closest to the capital as well. Yeah. Alright, so Katniss goes into town and goes to a market where she comes across a mockingjay pen, which is like it's like a bird, basically, and it's on this, like, gold circle, so it's a cute little pen,
Yeah.
and she connects with it immediately.
You see these pens when you go into the title of the actual movie.
Right. So she goes to purchase it, but the shopkeeper gives it to her as a gift because I guess she could tell that Katniss connected with it instantly. And she's probably just trying to help out a neighbor. They're all poor, like, take it. She goes back home where we meet her mother, played by Paula Malcolmson, and her sister, Prim, and they're very uneasy because today is the reaping, and this is basically a non-voluntary military draft, but worse, times 20. Uh,
I mean, this is
like,
that's exactly what the short story lottery is like.
yeah, so, like, literally, these parents and these siblings, everybody, they're preparing for one of themselves or their child or their sister or their brother to be randomly selected to go basically die because your odds are you going to be the one person out of how many was it, Jonathan? You made me do math. Is
What?
it four?
Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah, right. You mean the people that are
Yeah,
getting the Hunger Games? 24.
24. Are you going to be the one person out of 24 who's going to live? The odds may not be in your favor. So it's of course you would be uneasy. Katniss gives Pren her Mockingjay pen as like a good luck charm and says it will protect her and keep her calm during the reaping ceremony. So together as a family, they head to the annual reaping ceremony for the selection of the tributes. That's what they call the kids that will eventually be selected to go. And they're pretty much like everybody has to go. Everybody in the district is forced to go see this horrible thing. And the reaping requires a boy and girl from each district to be chosen to play in the Hunger Games. So, like I said, everyone in District 12 has to attend. It's like a huge event, but like a somber one. And they view this like patriotic video to remind them, like, this is why you're forced to participate in the Hunger Games.
This is
It's a fun reminder. So I gotta stop cursing. It's a reminder to not uprise again. Like, do not go against the government, not try to take back your power, do not protest. This is the Hunger Games are the reason why you're here today.
Ugh,
This is your
man.
punishment. I know. Why we picked this movie?
Because it's a great story. It starts something that needs to be started.
Right. So again, like I said, there was an uprising in the district, so they lost. They obviously lost to the capital. It's not really clear when this happened, but we meet Haymitch, who obviously is older and he has played in the game, so it's been going on for a while. So we meet another woman from the capital named Effie Trinket, and she's played by Elizabeth Banks, and she's in charge of drawing the names for District 12. We know that Effie is from the capital, not only because she has this job to draw names, but because people from the capital, Jonathan, what do they look like?
People from the capital, I don't know what they look like. They look like they are rich people from like the way past. Like they look like rich people from like from
I was just
like
gonna say they dress weird. Like they have weird accents to them. Like they'll have like blue eyelashes
it's
and colors in their hair and like weird looks.
their
And
style is all
yeah,
over the place. It just looks like they're from the 1700s
but they're
and
luxurious. Like they have enough
luxury,
money
right?
to do all these weird things with their
Right,
looks.
and they do a whole bunch of
Yeah,
different things to the looks, but they look like they're in the modern time as well as like I just said, the 1700s. It's just
right,
all over the place.
right. So she starts with the girls, ladies first, and she draws a name. And Jonathan, who is it?
I mean, that pin did nothing. It
Damn.
was not lucky at all because Prim's name was picked like as if it was all the names in the bowl.
Like damn. Like me as the surprise wedding speech at my friend's wedding. Yes, Prim is strong, and apparently her nightmare was a foreshadow. Like she kind of had a premonition, not a foreshadow, a premonition that she was gonna be picked.
Prim should have just threw her pin away. He's like, "This didn't help."
Throwing at her like did nothing.
Katniss, you promised me,
Right.
but
You said there was no way I'd get picked on my first year.
but before she could throw her pin away, what does Katniss do?
Well, let's talk about Prim.
Okay.
You would think that a girl this young would have reacted like hysterically, but you could tell she's like stunned. Like she reacts very silently, like she's just been stopped in her tracks and her heart stopped, but she
Yeah.
approaches the stage because she knows she has to. Like she has no choice. So she's slowly approaching the stage and Katniss looks at her sister and sees that she is not gonna she's not gonna win this if she goes. And she screams for her and peacemakers approach her. They immediately surround her, like, don't you dare try to go reach your sister. And as she's being subdued, she volunteers to take her sister's place. She says, I volunteer as tribute to make it clear she's not going. I'm gonna go. And this shocks the district because who the hell would want to volunteer as tribute like for this?
Yeah.
Nobody.
You know,
So
remind me to go back to this moment when we get into discussing about the president,
oh, you mean like President Snow?
President Snow.
Oh, okay. I was like,
No, President Snow.
Donald Trump. What?
He's the
Right.
lesser of evil.
Yeah, that's saying a lot. If President Snow is not as bad, is that what you're saying?
Sorry, I don't want to get into politics.
Jesus Christ. All right, anyway, so they bring Katniss to the stage because they're like, oh, she clearly said that she wanted to go in her sister's place. So they're like, all right, cool. So after all the hubbub, Effie then is like, all right, well, let's continue with the boys. And the male tribute is Peter Millark. And I think when Johnson goes, he's like, no one's even trying to volunteer for him. He doesn't have any siblings. They love him.
Peter who?
Peter? Peter, you got the good one. Out here with
the baker's son? We can spare him. We're good.
Right, yeah, he threw bread at me the other day in the mud with the pigs, so bye. So one of the things that they probably feel like they're being humane, but all the tributes are allowed to say goodbye to their family before heading to the capital. So Katniss says her goodbyes to her mom and Prim, and in this moment, we find out that their father died in a mining accident. So that's why Katniss, as the older sibling, has been providing, and her mom seems like she's kind of like a deadbeat a little bit. Like she's taking care of her kids, but she's not the provider.
She's more traumatized than her daughter
Yeah, but
Katniss.
you gotta step up.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Like it's not their fault. Their father's dead.
there's definitely stories where that
Yeah.
sadly happens and
Yeah.
just breaks the family down.
Yeah, so Katniss tells her, like, "You have to step up because 'cause I'm no longer here, I may not even come back. So you have to take like, you can't let Prim starve, you can't let yourself starve. So now is your time to basically get over it for survival." Gail then comes. It's nice. They let her, see whoever she wants, I guess, 'cause he's not like a relative or a boyfriend or anything. But he's able to come say goodbye as well, and he gives Katniss a pep talk, reminding her of what she is capable of. Do you think Gail's into Katniss? Is this kinda relationship that could have bloomed if she stayed home?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was very obvious that Gale had feelings for Katniss.
Right. And now she might die. So at this moment, we as the audience, we see a flashback. We see Peeta is Baker's son, like Jonathan mentioned earlier, who once saved Katniss, but we're getting little bits and pieces because it looks like Peeta comes outside. Katniss looks like she's dying from starvation in the pouring rain, and he's feeding the pigs like leftover stale bread. And you can see Katniss is looking at him like, "Oh my god, I would do anything for that stale bread." And he like tosses the bread to the pigs, and then he tosses a piece of bread in the I don't even know if we see him toss the bread in the like, on the ground for her yet.
Yeah, no,
They don't tell us yet
it's
that
bits and pieces. I just didn't want to keep going back and forth to it because it's like, who cares? I mean, I understand why they did this
they wanted us
direction.
to be like, "Oh,
It's like,
did
oh,
he give to the pigs and not Katniss?"
they just wanted to show like bits and pieces of what the first interaction was like between Peeta and Katniss,
Right.
but they didn't want to give it all to you at once. So
Right.
they will show it throughout the movie in certain points where their relationship develops. And I just didn't want to keep doing cutting backs. I mean,
So you
just
just
say this what
wanted to
it is.
mention that he eventually we do see him he throws the bread in the mud, basically. So it's probably illegal as well to help each other out. So he didn't have the balls to walk it to her.
Right.
He just had to
So
act like he was just throwing bread on the ground.
he wanted to help,
Yeah,
but you know, later we'll see he was regretful of how it was done. And
right. 'Cause it was
again,
raining.
he actually still saved Katniss from starvation.
Right. So, yeah, he's just a little bit of a punk. Alright, so Katniss and Peeta travel by luxury train to the capital, and this is their first taste of luxury and how the people from the capital just live completely different from the people in the districts. Because they're experiencing luxuries that they are not used to. They probably even have the luxury of sitting down in a nice, comfortable chair. So, it's like next to their homes.
You've probably never seen anything like this.
Right. So Peter starts talking to Katniss and mentions that Haymitch, played by Woody Harrelson, he won the Hunger Games some time back and will be their mentor. And is he from District 12, Jonathan?
He's from District 12. He is the only winner of the Hunger Games from District 12.
You mean he's the only winner from District 12 that
He,
won the Hunger
right.
Games?
He's the only person that has won it
From District
from
12.
District
Yeah.
12. So
Okay.
it's, obviously there've been other winners, but he's the only one from District 12.
Okay. And Katniss, she's just not too talkative. Like Peeta's really trying to get his mind right for the games and talk to his mentor and like kind of work with Katniss to like to form some kind of alliance, even though they eventually will be competitors. But she's just like she's sad. She just she's been through a lot of emotions. Her sister almost went. She had to think on her feet real fast. I'm sure she didn't want to be in the Hunger Games either, but she had to save her sister.
We have
And,
no
you
idea
know,
what
like
Peter's life is like in his family.
right,
It just seemed like Candace had more people than this.
right. Yeah, that's true. They really don't get into Peter. I don't remember if in the books or the movies if they go into his life more.
I have pretty good memory of the movies. I don't think they ever mention even the father. So it's just Katniss.
Okay. So they meet their mentor, Hamish Abernathy, who we said is Woody Harrelson. He's a cynical drunk and the only living victor from District 12, like we said. And I would say, if I had to guess, he's a drunkard because he probably feels a little guilty, like he won, so that probably immediately brought him back. It brought him into a world he wasn't used to, which is the capital life, and he probably left some people behind. He probably hates these people from the capital. He doesn't agree with what they're doing, but he is forced to be a part of these games because of his
I
status.
mean, this is.
Yeah,
I mean, he's drinking to forget, and he's
right,
also drinking to drink drink away his sorrows. He
right. He
hates he
doesn't
hates his
agree
life.
with any of this.
He
Yeah.
hates his life, and he hates the memories of the Hunger
What
Games.
he had to do, yeah. He probably killed a lot of people.
Yeah,
It's kinda hard not to kill at least one person
right.
in this game. Because he's a angry drunk and a cynical drunk, he's kind of a jerk. He's not at first, he doesn't seem really into helping them. He's kind of out of it. I mean, he's always drunk, so we get sense that Katniss is getting frustrated because he's not very invested in them at this moment. It doesn't seem like he's trying to help them win and survive in that first meeting when they meet him. In fact, Stanley Tucci had previously worked, and we said he's the host. He's going to be like the host of the Hunger Games, the one interviewing all of the people participating. He had previously worked with the director Gary Ross and accepted his offer to play Caesar Flickerman immediately without even knowing what the part was about. Woody Harrelson took more persuasion and didn't accept until Ross told him how badly he wanted him to play Haymitch. Ross states that Harrelson has never stopped thanking him for talking him into taking the part since then.
I
Probably
mean,
because he got paid.
I mean, yeah, that
Those movies got huge.
definitely.
I don't know if
But
I put
I
this.
sorry, I really don't think I can't think I see anybody play him as other than Woody Harrelson.
I did see that Jennifer Lawrence. I think I did though. But I did see that Jennifer Lawrence, for the first movie, she got paid $500,000, which was probably so much money to her because she had just come off the indie film circuit. It's a lot of money to me. But when you're an actor, you know how that goes. She got him $2 million and was like, "Oh my god, great paycheck." By the time she got to, like, Hunger Games: Catching Fire, I think she got 10 million. Isn't that insane? So
I'm
imagine
still
what
kind of
Woody
blown away.
Harrelson
I'm still
got.
kind of blown away that she was only paid half a mil. I mean, she's the leading role of.
It
That's
wasn't
crazy.
successful yet.
But
But they upped
it
that
looked
shit for the second movie.
when we watched the first movie, it looked like they definitely put a lot of money into the production.
But nobody
So
knew her.
still,
She's
I
essentially a nobody.
they already put so much money into making the film. I would think they
Right, they
would
put
give
money
more
into the
money to
film.
the star of the movie.
They weren't sure that she was gonna Jonathan, I mean, give her all the money and then the movie goes
I mean,
nowhere.
at least 1 million,
Okay.
double that.
Well, you should have been the agent. But she got mad money the next movie, so she's doing just fine. She's fine, Jonathan. Jennifer Lawrence is an A-list actor even when she disappears for
I
years.
mean,
She's okay.
she knew this was gonna change her life. This is why
Right.
she was reluctant to take on the role to begin with.
Right, because after this, oh my god, 2012, you couldn't stop seeing Jennifer Lawrence. Um, but anyway, and then she had a personality on her, so then that just made it even worse. Like I love Jennifer Lawrence, but after a while, it was like saturated with Jennifer Lawrence and her just being like, "Oh my god," like, "Oh, I'm so vivid," like,
Well, that's her.
yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, it became like her. I think her being this big actress plus having that little goofy personality just made her just be everywhere for like 10 years straight.
Right. People liked her
Yeah.
character, and people liked her acting.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
and her goofiness, like, she felt like a real person. She was tripping on the red carpet up
yeah.
the stairs and stuff,
That's great.
Alright, so we go back to Katniss. She's in her sleeping compartment on the train. She's watching coverage of the result of last year's Hunger Games, and they really show everything. She sees images of kids slaughtering each other and dying, and so I'm like, "Oh, this is comforting. This is what you're about to do in a few months." So she
It's not even about surviving. It's like I think the worst part of it is possibly having to kill somebody.
Right, I mean, definitely. Well, the odds are you're gonna have to kill somebody because, as we'll see later, they force you to interact
Right.
with the other tributes. Alright, so the next morning, Katniss sees Peeta getting mentored by Haymitch, because Peeta hasn't given up on Haymitch. He still, like, makes sure he goes to him and asks him questions, and they're talking about finding coverage and shelter and just, like, basic essential survival skills. Um, Haymitch explains that survival, honestly, more than just finding food and shelter, it depends on sponsors, not just your skill. He warns that it's a popularity contest. If people in the capital like you that have money, they'll send you things to help you. So you have to be liked. And he's like, "You're not off to a good start because I don't like your attitude." But I feel like Katniss had a reason to be a jerk because Haymitch was being a jerk.
I
So
think that's definitely that definitely stays true to any show that we watch that's like kind of reality shows, right?
right.
It's a popularity contest. They're gonna try to keep you there as long as they could. They try to sabotage other contestants from to lose to keep one contestant to continue on to the next round.
I mean, they try to say they don't do that. Like producers, they try to say that they don't manipulate or
I don't think that's.
feel.
I don't think that's.
I mean, I do believe in early reality TV days that was definitely the case, but they don't straight up sabotage. They might ask a question like, "How do you feel about so and so doing that?" But
Then
they don't
there's
really. They try their hardest to be flies on the wall.
then
But
there's those reality shows that have the audience vote.
yeah, but that's not the same as
Yeah, I know.
manipulating. It's just
I
voting.
feel like it's just controlling the narrative is what I'm saying. I feel like reality shows try
I
to
mean,
control the narrative.
they control. I'll say this is what I thought you were gonna say. They control the narrative by how they edit the
That
show.
too.
They pick a villain, they pick media, they pick a problem starter. Like they'll be like, "Oh, whoa, Tiani's a little like she's very like intense. Let's make her the villain." And cut it so that it looks like she's always yelling at people.
Which is
That's how they manipulate it. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
yes. Yeah, I was saying
Um,
that too. Yeah, I just hate reality shows. Period. Yeah, and I just feel it's just so fake.
So Katniss meets Senna, who's played by the legendary Lenny Kravitz. Senna admires her bravery for volunteering on behalf of her sister. He is basically like her image consultant. He's going to do her wardrobe, her makeup, her hair, make her look good at any of these events that she has to be at prior to the Hunger Games. He explains to her that tonight is going to be the tribute parade where they all dress in their clothes representing districts and they parade down this road like District 12, District 11, like everybody represents their districts. But he doesn't want to put her in something boring. He wants to create an image that stands out to make a good first impression to all the people in the capital and to the rest of the districts. He wants her to be remembered for what she did. She
Right.
stepped in for Primrose.
Right. He was inspired and he admires
Right, because
Katniss'
he's from the
bravery.
capital,
Right.
but he takes a liking to her and wants her to succeed. So he's like, "Let's help you get those sponsors that Haymitch is speaking of so that you can make it, or at least be able to try to make it."
Right.
So fact, Lenny Kravitz was cast for the role of Senna without auditioning after co-writer and director Gary Ross was impressed by his performance in Precious. I do not remember that, but cool. Because most of Senna's scenes were on with Katniss, Kravitz learned as much as he could about Jennifer Lawrence through his daughter Zoe Kravitz, who appeared with Lawrence in X-Men First Class.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I forgot she did that
Yeah.
before this movie, huh?
Wow. Yeah.
She was on her way already. This
Huh.
just like catapulted her.
Really? That was before.
It says 2011. That's not crazy. She didn't have a huge role in
Yeah,
that.
that's
So, like,
true. But I
yeah,
mean,
so
she was still Mystique.
yeah, I
But
know,
all
but
right.
she wasn't the lead.
Okay.
So this was her leading big blockbuster film.
Is this? Yeah, Mystique was a big character. So
Right.
again, that also make her being paid 500,000 even more surprising.
Okay, Agent Jonathan. Tributes from all 12 districts are styled and showcased to the Capitol audience for the parade. Katniss is dubbed the girl on fire. Why, Jonathan? What did Senna put together for her?
I mean, he set up the outfit to burst into flames to not burn her, of course.
I was about to say it burst into flames.
No, it was
He
just
died.
it was just
The
a
movie
flame.
ended.
It was a flame that flowed as if it was like
It was like embers. Like it was
Yeah.
just like it was like a nice little flame.
It was cool.
Yeah. Was it just on the top of her costume? I
I
can't
feel like
remember.
it was dragging behind her, like
Oh,
as if she had like a princess dress.
oh, you're talking about like a train?
Yeah,
You're
there we
such a
go. Like
boy.
a train. I don't know.
Like a princess dress that drags.
I was trying to know the word. I'm like, I have no idea what that is called.
So Peeta then, who's standing next to her, gets an idea to grab her hand and hold it up like in a like victorious like handhold, like we're united.
Yeah, I mean, Peter says like, "Oh, they'll love it," and he's
Yeah.
like, so he's just trying to play into the crowd.
And also just like include himself to be reminded. Like they'll just look at Katniss, because at this moment they're playing for themselves. So Peter probably also was like, I need to get into this conversation.
Yeah, and this is kind of his play to create a narrative. I feel like he did this to
he already was thinking about that love angle,
right? To see how the audience think there might be something going on, this connection,
right? So Katniss, of course, she's like stone cold, but she's like, why is he holding? Okay, fine, whatever. So, so that's what Hamish means. Like, she's not a mean person. Obviously, she's obviously a good person. I feel like I'm Katniss Everdeen. Her heart is very warm, but she just has a cold exterior. You gotta let people in, but she's got to make sure you're cool people before she lets you in. And then you think she's just a meanie. It's like, no, I just don't know you.
And I think it's more of the situation. She knows what's going on.
Right.
She knows this is
like
wrong.
A lot is going on in the world.
So
I don't trust a lot of people.
This is just something that she just can't get over.
Jonathan's just like, I don't want you to have your therapy session here. He just keeps talking over me. Whatever. Exactly. Anyway, so President Snow, who's played by Donald Sutherland, R.I.P. I think he died kind of recently. He speaks to the people. He's like hyping everyone up about the Hunger Games. Like, yeah, let's kill some kids from other poor districts. Woo! So then they cut back to the District 12 team. Like Peeta, Katniss, Haymitch. I guess Effie was assigned specifically to District 12, so they're all together.
When I was doing my notes, I barely mentioned Effie because I just felt like she barely did anything.
No, but I thought it was interesting while I was watching it back that clearly she was assigned. I thought she was just dropped off by the Capitol, like you have to do it in 1, 2, 3, 4. But no, they must drop off like a different person to each district to do the names, and then you stick with them the whole time. So they come back to the team who's looking at the other tributes, like sizing them up and seeing who they are, and they specifically hone in on District 1, and this is Clove, played by Isabel Fuhrman. Does she look familiar, Jonathan?
She was in that horror movie where she plays a child, but she was really an adult.
But she's actually a child because she's a child.
I forgot.
Orphan.
The orphan, right?
The orphan.
The orphan.
I can't forget the face because that movie was fucked up. And then Kato, who's played by Alex Ludwig, and they seem to be prepared, like they've been preparing for this.
Right, they're training.
Their life, like this is what they do.
All right, so I'm glad you said that. Like in my mind, I feel like every district should be training. They should all have some type of skill.
They probably don't have the means to do it.
Well, I'm like, it seems like a good amount of them have something, right? Something that makes them special, that makes them stand out, that will help them, either survive or be able to win the Hunger Games in their own way.
Not always. Purple almost went.
I mean, that's what I was really gonna get at.
Right.
I was like, luckily, Katniss is like, I'm gonna go in there, but obviously
she should have been teaching her sister bow and arrow.
Right.
That's in preparation.
That's exactly what I wanted to bring up. I was
taking forever to get to it, so I'm trying to help.
Whatever. I was just saying, right? Like, Prim should have definitely been training, and she should have had Katniss help. I feel like everyone should be training.
Right, because Peeta honestly wasn't formidable. He's just strong.
Well, he also has another skill that we see later in the movie too, which is also important.
But do you think that comes from like him baking cakes or some shit? Like, where does that come from?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it's like I'm gonna use this in the Hunger Games. It's just like I just know how to do this. But anyway, so the people from District 1, and I guess the closer you are to the Capitol, it's like a great honor in life to participate in the Hunger Games, and they usually tend to win it. So Katniss and Peeta are brought to their temporary living quarters, and they see how they are put into the lap of luxury right before they are sentenced to possibly die. They give them a spread of food. They get cushy beds and big rooms and all this stuff, like as if that's going to make it better. Like it's like impending doom. Like it's not. That would make me feel better, Jonathan. Would it make you feel better?
Oh, yeah.
Like, at least I'm sleeping on these silk sheets before I go die. In fact, Donald Sutherland saw the script by accident, and after reading it, he lobbied for the role of President Snow because the script reminded him of Stanley Kubrick's Paths of Glory from 1957. He wrote, I have no idea what that movie's about. He wrote a letter a plea to the director, Gary Ross, explaining what the character of Snow meant for the narrative and why he should be cast. It worked, and Ross was so impressed by Sutherland's insights that he wrote 2 scenes into the script based on what Sutherland had written.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's a legendary actor.
Yeah.
He's not like a big A-list superstar, but he's been in a bunch of movies, so it's not like it was some random.
Right.
Like, you don't just come across scripts by accident, you know? Um, and he did a great job. He has, like, that face that's, like, perfect for a villain and a good guy. Yeah, the voice, everything, and it's sad 'cause I think they're releasing another Hunger Games. I don't know if it's
Oh, I
another
think I heard that
prequel,
too.
but if it's like a continuation,
This
he
is this.
obviously has passed away. I think the person who's playing President Snow is Ralph Fiennes, who played Voldemort. So training for the Hunger Games begins. The trainers they speak about the rules and they give tips on how to survive. And then we go back to those career tributes, that's what they're called, from the wealthier districts. They train very aggressively. You can tell that they've been training outside of this moment, just in case they are picked. Katniss just stays cautious, but she's observing everything. You're looking at, like, these formidable players from the wealthier districts. She's looking at what, like, the poorer districts, like, what kind of skills they have. She's just sizing everybody up from a distance. Um, we also see Rue, played by Amanda Stenberg, being mischievous. Is she being mischievous, or she's just kinda keeping to corners and just, like, hoping people don't really think about her?
At this moment, she's not. There's a scene that happens where she does something mischievous.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about that, but she's being
She's
discreet.
probably she was probably
No, I think she's just kinda hanging in the back. I think she wants to be kind of in the shadows and not noticed, unless it's by Katniss. She wants Katniss to notice her a little bit. Um, so we go back to their living quarters, and there's, like, a huge spread of food that's presented to Katniss and Peter for dinner. Over dinner, Hamish is talking about the game plan, and he wants to know specifically what they are good at. And Peeta talks to Katniss about how her bow and arrow skills are great, and Katniss talks about Peeta's strength. Like, she's noticed how strong he is. He's lugging, like, the big bags of flour to and fro to the what do you call it? Of a baker. Well, to say the baker's house. So Peter aggressively says, like, "No, Katniss, you're gonna win. Even my mom thinks so." And then he leaves. So he's just like, "Okay. Sorry that your mom is playing you. That's kinda messed up. Dang. I didn't tell her to say that."
she's like maybe District 12 will finally have another winner.
So training continues the next day, and Katniss wants Peeta to make a statement to intimidate the other tributes because she's noticing that Peeta hasn't really done anything to set himself aside except look weak. Like, he hasn't been excelling in any of the different obstacle courses and things that they've been working on. So she's like, "You gotta do something because you're not gonna get sponsors, you're not gonna get a high score, like, you're just gonna fall into the background." So at this moment, like, she's also seeing that Peeta, like Jonathan said, has skills with camouflage, like, he's able to paint himself into backgrounds. How is he doing that, Jonathan? Like, he just
I have no idea.
right, it's not very clear how
And how it's amazing what he's doing, but like how?
right. So then Peeta, as he's doing that, he points out that Rue is following in Katniss's shadow at a distance, like, "You have a fan, like, she's been checking for you since the first day." Like, she's probably just like, District 11, right? So she's, like, the next yeah, so, like, they're close in districts, so, like and then it's like, "Oh my god, did you hear about that girl Katniss who volunteered as tribute? Maybe she had an older sibling that didn't do that shit." Oh, it's just like, "Damn, I wish my sister volunteered for me."
Right.
Um, and she's about the same age. I think that's the whole thing, like, she's the same age as Prim. So, we are at the private evaluation where everyone has to individually impress sponsors. So, the sponsors are sitting up in some, like, room upstairs with glass windows looking down at the different tributes.
They're not being the most observant. They're just chilling. They're just eating.
Right. They pretty much you have to get their attention. So Katniss is deciding that to impress the sponsor, she's going to shoot arrows because that's what she's good at. Um, they actually do stop to pay attention to her when she does this first presentation. And unfortunately, when everybody's watching and paying attention to her, her first arrow misses the bullseye completely. It's just a bad hit, right?
This is bad, whatever. It's a bad shot.
And they laugh. They're just like, "Oh, she's trash. We're not giving her anything. We're not sending her shit." And they quickly go back to ignoring her and eating their very gluttonous meal. Like they just eat all this food in front of these people who are. I mean, they're eating food now, but you could just tell they have more than they've been giving the districts. Um, her second shot actually does hit the bullseye, like directly in the center. But unfortunately, what is happening, Jonathan?
No one was paying attention because she missed the first shot. They're just like, oh, whatever. She has no hope. But Candace was like, oh yes, I got the second shot, and just looked so disappointed seeing that everyone just didn't even see the second shot.
Doing their little party. Yeah, they don't care
And
anymore.
this just angers her.
Right. So she's pissed. She's like, okay, so you guys are done with me because I missed the first shot. I'm nervous. Like I'm about to be in basically what should be called the death games. And now I gotta present myself to you like I'm some show pony. So she's like, all right, cool. How do I like make them look at me? What am I gonna do? So she notices that Seneca Crane is holding an apple. So she's like, all right, cool. Let me train my bow and arrow on that apple because it's in his hand. So she shoots the arrow and it's bullseye right into the apple in his hand, which of course is going to force Seneca to look, as well as everybody else in the room that noticed. He looks shocked, and then she bows sarcastically at him. What did she say? I was trying to remember what she said.
I don't remember.
Like, thank you for your attention. Like she does like a curtsy back.
Right?
Like, bitch.
Wow. That's badass.
Right, it really is. Um, So that night, after everybody has gone through their individual evaluations, the news reports the different scores that are given to the tributes was basically like a way to show their odds on winning the game. And the game makers gave Katniss an 11. Is that the highest score? Did she get the highest score of all the tributes?
I think she got the highest score. I think to myself, like, these game makers and these people up there should have been pissed. And also in my mind, like, she could have easily shot your head off. Why is no barrier to protect them? No barrier. So I'm just thinking to myself, they had this much confidence. No one's going to defy us. No one's going to stand up for themselves. We're going to be completely safe. We're not going to worry about them trying to kill us. She has a bow and arrow. It's like, what?
Weren't Hamish and Effie mad at her initially until they saw the score? Yeah, because they were like, you really like probably pissed them off and you're gonna get a terrible score.
You know, you're trying to make them like you, not hate you. Right. So yes, they were kind of nervous about what her score could be.
Well, it was good. They were impressed by her, I guess, her confidence, her cockiness, she was brave again. She showed that she didn't care. So we see President Snow talking to Seneca Crane, and he asks Seneca Crane, why do you think we have these games? And he answers his own question by saying, did that bother you, Jonathan? He answers his own question by saying, it's hope. And Snow wants him to contain it. What does that mean?
We're only giving so much hope. We're giving them just a tiny bit of hope to think that this is going to be a way for a better life. And also we need to make sure that there's not too much hope where we see people rebel and have an uprising. So in my mind, so this is when I wanted to go back to when Katniss volunteers herself to the Hunger Games. To me, that's the first step of rebellion. If your name is chosen, your name is chosen. In my mind, to contain, they should have said absolutely not. Prim was the one selected. This is the rules. She's going, no matter what. So that was the beginning of rebellion. They should have not allowed that.
Right. Because that alone is like, oh, wait, wow. That's really awesome. Like, that's brave. That could be our leader.
Right, exactly. Anyone is going to gravitate to an act like this, even the people that are in the Capitol.
Right.
We do not want that to happen.
Okay, President Snow, part 2. Jonathan's like, I would not let this happen.
I like to try to see things in different perspectives.
Oh, the evil one too?
The evil one too, yes. To
Wow.
try to see what the character is, and also just to see what the narrative is like, right? Like this is what should have happened if people were aware of what was going on and how Katniss came to be.
All right. I didn't know Jonathan was partially evil and identifying with the capital. Okay. Scary. Katniss notices that Peeta is no longer showing up to training with her. And Haymitch tells Katniss that Peeta now wants to train alone. And honestly, this was probably a part of the narrative he was trying to build, but at the same time, even if it wasn't, at this point they should be training separately because they're competitors. They can't win together.
Right. Just not the rules.
So the next step before the actual Hunger Games are the one-on-one interviews that are conducted in front of a live audience by Caesar. So we see all of them getting interviewed at different points, but of course we're going to focus on Katniss and Peeta. So Caesar asks Katniss a question, and she is so nervous about being in front of so many people that she doesn't hear that first question. And in her head, remembering what Senna told her, his advice to her is to be yourself. And she does just that. She wins over the crowd by showing off yet another dress that has fire on it. And the way that it is on the nights is by her spinning around. So she's just like, "Oh, I have another dress like this. Would you guys like to see it?" And she like spins around and it creates the fire. It was like, "Oh my god!" So Senna has done it again. Um, so the host discusses her sacrifice for her sister. And of course, everybody is, like Jonathan said, very enthralled by the story because nobody has ever done that. Who wants to go to the Hunger Games? Like, I would hope that I would be like, you know what, Niecy, if we were younger and she was just turning of age, and I was like, I'll go. I volunteer as tribute. That's a hard ass thing to do.
I feel like I would have done that. I can see Roger doing that.
You can see Roger volunteering as
At
tribute.
that age, with that situation, yes, I definitely see Roger doing that. I think most older siblings will they would probably think about it, and a good amount would actually act on it.
Like, would I do that if my sister were to be called? Yeah. So he asked her, like, what did you tell your sister after the reaping? And Katniss answers, I will win. That's what she told her sister.
Yes. So I'm also when I was watching this too, I was thinking to myself, like, man, everyone is just used to this. This is the absolute norm. Because in my mind, there should be some people protesting this, even in the audience.
Jonathan.
So it's just
People are just used to going to work and doing what they have to do and being what they're told. Seems like what's going on now.
everyone in the capital are sheep, and
Yeah.
they're just very comfortable in the way they're living, and they don't care about anybody else.
Right. As long as they get to keep theirs and it's not hitting home.
The more they see, the more they question, right? And we're gonna see things start falling to the ground as movies continue.
So Peter decides to present in his interview a more cockier and confident version of himself to play to the audience because we know Peter seems like a sweet guy. He's not super cocky or anything, but he's like, let me get some more like personality into me so people remember me. Caesar asks if he has someone special at home, and this is when Peter is like, I'm ready to put this narrative. He introduces a story about having a crush on someone that's back home. And Caesar's like, oh my God, does the girl know? Are you going to tell her? And he's like, "Well, the problem is she came here with me." And everybody's like, "Well, obviously that's Katniss." So, you know, Caesar's like, "Oh, that's bad luck," because he knows, like, there could only be one winner, so one of them is gonna die and his love is never gonna happen. So, Peeta smartly created this narrative that intrigued people and put him on the map for others. Now they care about it. So, they he basically says on live TV that he has always loved Katniss back in the district and even more now. And it creates a narrative that they are star-crossed lovers. Basically, you know, not basically Romeo and Juliet, different kind of, but they are doomed to die. Like they're not going to survive this.
It's a risky move because you guys are trying to get sponsors to have you know, want to be liked, but it's gonna put your target on your back. Like, excuse me, their tributes are just like F these two.
This is the first time hearing that she doesn't even know of the plan or anything that maybe Peeta and Hamish spoke about. So Katniss violently confronts Peeta about revealing something like that on live TV and putting her in that position. But she is convinced by Senna and Hamish that it will help her win over the audience to play into that narrative because now the Capitol, they're all about fancy things and luxury and love. So
I don't really go too much into how Katniss, feels for Gale. But do you think Katniss was mad because she actually likes Gale and not?
no, I just think Katniss is very walled off, and she's like, "Now you're putting me in this love story for the entire world to see. I'm being seen by so many people for the first time in my life, and now I got to deal with this love story narrative, and my love has to play out on TV." I think that's more of it.
I feel that way too, but I just wanted to
Like,
see
she
your
might be
thoughts on
like,
that.
"Damn, like I know Gail was feeling me. This is gonna hurt him," but I feel like that's the least of her. Who gives a I'm when I was growing up watching this, I was Team Gale, more attracted to Liam Hemsworth than I am Josh Hutcherson.
Read the book
But
before, right? When you were reading you read the book first,
I
or
cared more for PETA.
when you read the
'Cause
book,
yeah, because they're in they were like trying to survive and they're battling for their life. Like that makes the connection
so
better.
you did read the book before the
But when
movie,
I saw the casting, I was like, God damn it, I don't like Josh Hutcherson like that.
right? And you did read the book before
I definitely was
the
Team
movie.
PETA because like Gail was like we barely got to know him. Like they could have more storyline for the two of them before she left, but it was like most of the book was her and PETA, going through it. So definitely Team PETA from the book story perspective. All right, so Katniss and PETA obviously can't sleep because how could you? It was the day before the games. PETA fears that the games will change his character and he wants to die being the same person he is in that moment. But I mean, Jonathan, don't you think your character would change a little bit if you kill
This
somebody,
is why he thinks that way, right? He knows he's not going to be the same, and
Right.
that's just the way it is.
Right. I think we're on the next day. Hamish gives him the final few pieces of advice to start off with and words of encouragement because that's really all he can do at this moment. He's been here. He knows there's really not much you can say. We see that all the tributes are being injected with trackers so that everyone can follow along, and I said especially the game manipulators, which we'll see later. They're basically like game makers like Seneca Crane, but his employees, and they can manipulate things in the games. And the only way you can do that is if you know where people are. So Katniss sees Cinna one last time in the room, where she will enter the arena, and he gives her a jacket. What's the jacket? What's the significance of the jacket? Is super warm?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's yeah, I guess it's just the one last thing that he's gonna give her that is clothing. Clothing gives you warmth. It's supposed to. He's just giving her love. He's showing her that he cares.
And his final words to her before she goes is, "I'm not allowed to bet, but if I could, I'd bet on you." Why do you think he's not allowed to bet? Because he's a part of the team?
Yeah, that's probably why. He just knows information that others won't.
Okay. All right. So the tributes are launched into the arena in a tube. Like literally in that room that she was in with Cinna, there was a tube. She gets inside and it like pops her into the arena. And it's centered around this thing. We're gonna start calling it the Cornucopia, which is basically an area where they supply the weapons and they might put like medical supplies. Like it's basically home base, which will end up being dangerous because that's where everybody knows where everything is. So a countdown clock begins for the games to start, and some tributes run away into the woods immediately without grabbing anything. Which Jonathan, what do you think of that method? That strategy? Like, let me try to get out of here before I get killed.
It's cowardice, for the most part, but at the same time, maybe they have a plan. If in my mind, the people that are doing that know how to be sneaky.
Right. Also, maybe if it's the younger kids, I kind of understand. Like, they could easily, and we will see some of the younger kids get easily overpowered.
Right, Rue. I doubt Rue was trying to run down there. Yeah, so
Yeah, I think Rue did.
Rue definitely is like, I'm gonna go up in the trees.
Right. She's like, I know I'm not gonna make it if I try to get something.
Right. I mean, there's no way she could run
I don't
fast.
think it's cowardice. I just think it's knowing your limits.
I think it depends on the person. We don't really get to. I don't think we get to see every single tribute.
Okay, so obviously there are others that try to get supplies before they leave, and Katniss is witnessing a lot of the younger and weaker tributes die at the hands of bigger and more skilled career tributes.
Yeah, very quickly.
Very quickly. It's a bloodbath almost immediately. Katniss herself avoids the initial bloodbath while she watches these tributes die. She grabs minimal supplies from a survival backpack and escapes into the forest. So, I mean, she barely takes much because she's like, I gotta
I
go.
mean, her just doing that, she almost died. I mean,
Yeah,
like the girl that
is it Clove?
Clove throws a dagger, and she protected herself with a book bag,
Oh,
and so like without the book bag, she would have been dead.
right. Yeah. So she was like, I gotta get out of here. So in the forest, she thinks she's getting away, but she bumps into like another girl, and they both look at each other like, "You ain't trying to kill me, right?" And they're like, "Yeah," and then they just go in different directions. They both weren't ready to do that yet. Like, I'm not trying to kill anybody if I can help it, so it's good. You go that way, I go that
I
way.
mean, if they end up fighting, that just gives other people opportunities to get to reach them and kill them themselves. So they're probably both thinking that way. It's like we can't stay here. We gotta get out.
Right. So they hear a boom from a cannon, and the host, Caesar, explains quickly that it marks how many have fallen and perished. So every time they hear that, they know somebody has died. So there's going to be multiple booms because a lot of people just died. So Katniss silently mouths to herself how many tributes have fallen based on those booms. And that's a good strategy because later on they're going to show like a true video of everybody who dies, like they project it into the atmosphere. But
When I was writing,
you want to know right away that how many more people you have to deal with. So you're going to count those booms and be
exactly.
like, all right, how many people are still around that I got to watch out for.
When I was writing these notes, like I only heard 6, but like I was seeing her mouth it. She's like 9, 11, 12, and I was like, oh, okay. And then they actually say it later. It's confirming that that's how many people have.
Oh, half of them die right in the beginning, huh? Wow. So Katniss, she's like, all right, let's do what I know. She creates traps and she captures, I feel like it's a squirrel. She captures a squirrel and makes a little meal. And she knows better. This is a little bit of a foreshadow before we talk about another scene that she shouldn't make a huge fire. Just enough fire to cook the food. That's it. We don't need like, because people might see that. So then, after she eats her meal, she then sets up camp on high ground on a sturdy tree branch. When she gets on that branch, she also does something that I think is smart. She wraps ropes around her to make sure she doesn't fall the tree while she's sleeping. So that's why she's doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like yeah, to make sure she doesn't fall out. Um, so now it is nighttime, and like I said, they're going to pay tribute to all those who have passed away in a little video they slapped together, and they project it into the night sky so everybody can see it. Um, so while Katniss is up in that tree, she notices that someone naively started a large fire to make food that will obviously attract competitors, especially people like Cato and Clove, who are like itching to kill people. So Cato and his team approached Cato, Clove, like Foxface and Marvel. Like they all approach this fire where this girl's at, and they kill her. And she hears her scream, like she sees the fire, and she's like, "Oh no, that girl's gonna die!" Right. And then a boom of the cannon goes off. It's like boom, someone else is dead. So we cut to the broadcast show, and the host confirms that 13 have died. He reports that there's an alliance forming. Because, like I said, it was a whole group of people. Who are all the people? So Katniss, still up in the tree, sees the alliance coming in her direction, but they don't know she's up there. But she is able to see that PETA is a part of the group that includes Cato and Clove. So I'm sure PETA is just trying to survive. He's not going to try to kill Katniss, but they probably caught up to him pretty quickly because he's not very skillful or fast. So he's like, okay, well, if you don't kill me, I'll help you find Katniss because I know her really well. I know where she's going to be. So that's how that happened. But if you're Katniss, you're looking at Peeta to join another team and be like, oh, well, damn, okay. But that's probably why he did it. Do you agree, Jonathan? Just to save his own life for a little bit.
I was thinking maybe based on Pia's character from what we see in the movie, I think he seems to plan ahead. So I think he wants to manipulate the group and he's just kind of like the special agent, right? He's like a spy. He's like, all right, let me just go into this group and try to get information as well as trying to keep Katniss safe.
Like I said, Peeta is helping them search for Katniss specifically. He leaves Cato and Chloe behind, and Cato lets Chloe know, like, as soon as we find her, we're killing Peeta.
Like in my mind, I think Peeta knows that Katniss will be in the trees because
Yeah, he's not trying to kill her. I already said that.
but like I think that's why he went to the group. He's trying to steer them away when he's telling them he's trying to lead them to her.
Of course, yes. Katniss decides to get as far away as possible from all the tributes to hide out because you would think that's a strategy. Like maybe if I just hide out somewhere far away, that they'll never find me. Let me do that. So they cut to Seneca Crane and one of his employees reporting that, like, look, she's almost at the edge, meaning the edge of the arena. Like she's nowhere near the other tributes. So Seneca's like, nah, we got to turn her back. Like she needs to get closer to the other tributes. So I don't think at this moment, Katniss is not realizing that you're not going to get out of this that easy because everybody would just go to the edge of the arena and hide out. Obviously, they're going to be forced to interact with each other. So that employee has the ability, like I said, to manipulate the atmosphere of the arena and add things to it. So he creates fireballs that are going to be shot directly at Katniss. And when he starts shooting those fireballs at her, and they're very like large, aggressive, like they shoot directly at her. And she gets away, but she gets burned on the leg by one of them while she's trying to run away. The fireballs, so many of them come at her that they force her back near where the tributes are going to be, specifically the Chloe and Cato group, which is not where she wants to be.
It's interesting that how they control the fire because they're in a forest. You think it would spread throughout everywhere, spread throughout the whole arena.
So Katniss dodges them going into the lake, like, because she sees that group coming towards her, but she doesn't do it fast enough. They see her and she now has to run away. So she's like, all right, well, let me do the thing that they probably don't know how to do, and that's climb a tree. So she climbs a tree, and Cato basically is like, oh, I'm a strong big man. I couldn't climb that tree. And he finds out really quickly that he cannot. So he slides back down, and Peeta's like, you know what? Let's just set up camp and wait her out. That's what we'll do. And it's like, I guess that's helpful because it stops them from trying.
Right. I mean, they weren't only trying to climb up the tree. They're also throwing weapons at her and trying to shoot at her. You know,
So Peeta stops them from doing it. Like she'll come down eventually because she'll get hungry.
it gives Candace time to or him time to figure out how to get out of that situation at least. But it's it's not that helpful.
We're back in the Capitol. Haymitch is doing his job. He is seen convincing sponsors to help Katniss when he notices her burn injury is pretty bad. We don't hear this dialogue, but we see him sitting with some fancy rich people in the Capitol after he notices that she's like in severe pain from this burn. So his pitch results in a care package delivery, healing salve that arrives on a mini floating balloon that comes out of thin air. The salve instantly heals her burn and relieves it at the same time. So it's almost like magic. Like whatever they send, it like completely heals the wound and it's like instant relief.
Medicine from the Capitol.
So thank you, Heyman, for doing your job. He actually cares about Katniss. Isn't that nice?
Capitol has really good medical care.
Right. Thank you, Jonathan. Is that your expert opinion?
Nah, this is more like F those guys.
All right. So Rue, who is also on a tree, she's on a tree nearby, looking at the situation, seeing the alliance on the ground, seeing Katniss stuck in a tree. She gets Katniss's attention, and she notices that there is a nest nearby. And at the same time, we have to remember that this whole games, the entire Capitol could tune in the whole time. So you really have no privacy. They're looking at everything that's happening. So the person who's being paid or forced to watch is Caesar. So he is sitting down and he's like, oh wait, that's a tracker jacker nest. And he explains that they are genetically engineered to cause the subject who is bitten by them to hallucinate. And if they get enough of that venom in them, it could kill them. So we are like, oh shit. So this is a really bad nest. This is not just a wasp nest. This is whatever the fuck tracker jackers are. So then Rue is like, look, Katniss, you can't get down. Like they're gonna wait for you until you get You get tired, you get hungry, throw that nest on them. But she's not saying any of this. She's just like gesturing. So it takes a few tries, but she gets it. She's like, "Oh, you want me to drop that on them?" So she finally gets it. She's like, "That's a good idea. Okay, cool." So she begins like with her hunting knife sawing the branch that is holding the nest. But unfortunately, as she's sawing it, a couple of those tracker jackers sting her. They also look like bees. They look like ants. Like flying ants.
I thought they looked like wasps.
They look like wasps?
A little bit of both. To me,
Right.
it looked like wasps.
She eventually gets it free, but again, not without getting stung like a few times. And the nest of the tracker jackers drops on the hunting alliance. One of the girls in the group get the full brunt of the nest and gets horribly stung and dies. The others, they get hurt a little bit, but they're able to get away with a few stings. But I think this is Fox face, I'm guessing. I don't know, I'm just guessing. Like, but she gets killed. She gets killed because the nest like drops on her.
Man, she looks terrible. Like,
So yeah, Katniss sees that girl's dead body and she looks a mess. But again, Katniss isn't really like thinking about that because she is going in and out of hallucinations. Yeah, she is because she got bitten a few times. So she's through blurry vision point of view. We as the audience see Pia came back to check on her and is yelling at her to run. Did she fall out of the tree? Like she jumped out of the tree, but it turned into a fall because she was like
clumsy. But yeah, I think she fell.
yeah, so Peeta is yelling at her, like, through her hallucinatory vision, like, "Run, get out of here, this is your chance." I'm like, "Yeah, duh, Peeta, that's why we did it. I'm just struggling right now. Thank you, but thank you for the advice, like, you came up with it." Alright, anyway, so this allows her to escape.
It's like this. I'm in this situation because of you.
Right. So she's able to through that hallucinatory, like, state, she does see that that girl that died had the bow and arrows. So she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna grab that real quick." And then she stumbles out.
You don't need it anymore.
Right. Yeah, great. I was trying to get that in the beginning, but y'all be throwing knives and shit, so I had to go.
You don't even know how to use it like I can.
Right. So she finds a safe place to deal with her hallucinatory symptoms due to the venom, and she barely survives because I mean multiple stings. I said 3, but I really don't know. She could have gotten stung more.
Not like as many times as that girl.
Yeah, Charlotte. You're still talking about that girl. So anyway, so after Rue's help with the nest, Katniss teams up with her because Rue reminds her of Prim. They're about the same age, so she feels like she needs to protect this little girl like she protected Prim. So we already know what the fuck is gonna happen. But anyway, so as Katniss is going in and out of consciousness from her bites or stings, Rue helps treat her wounds. So they're creating a quick and fast. Rue then teaches Katniss to signal when she comes to call the Mockingjays in the forest. The Mockingjays imitate the sounds that they hear, and Rue says this could be a way of the communicating with each other to let them know that they're safe or that they need help. So that's a cool way to do it. With it, I can't whistle.
Well, like first Rue does another yell, and Candace does this whistle.
Do it. Oh Lord!
Dang.
Wow,
I can't. Hold up.
oh God! Oh, that was rough.
Dang. I can't. I don't know. I can't whistle right now.
Hey, Jonathan, what happened?
Well, hopefully you were hear some of it.
All right, so Rue and Katniss come up with a plan to destroy the Alliance supply stash back in the Cornucopia because the Alliance has taken over all of the supplies. They're like, fine, then nobody gets the supplies. We're gonna get rid of all of them. Rue distracts the majority of the group, leaving behind one. How does Rue distract the group?
I don't think they show that. I don't remember seeing it, but I know that she somehow got their attention, and she got the majority of them out of the
And
away
they
from the
leave a little boy
cornucopia,
behind.
and
to
they only
watch.
left one guard behind.
Right, and he's like a little boy, right? He's like a kid.
Yeah,
Probably like Rue's age, guarding all the
I
stuff.
think he's a little older than that, but who cares?
He was?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, Katniss is hiding in the forest, and she spots like a bag of apples. So she's like, all right, cool. That's how I'm going to do it. And she aims her bow and arrow at the bag of apples. She hits them. They roll out. And we see that this sets off bombs planted around the stash. So I have a question. Did the Alliance plant these mines? Or was that already there?
I think the Alliance might have planted these mines.
They planted the
Yeah.
mines. How do they make the mines? How do you just make a mine? Or a
I
bomb?
mean, they probably saw it in the supply, and it's like, oh, you know what?
Do you think the Capitol provided bombs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just like if the mines were always there, I mean, when we started the Hunger Games, they were running to the cornucopia. We would definitely would have seen mines being blown up everywhere, and more than 12, 13 people would have died.
Right. Okay. So that was their plan to bomb up all the supplies. So the Alliance, obviously, the explosion was loud. They return, and the leader, Kato, snaps the neck of the boy who was guarding the supplies. So, like, that's not his fault. Right? That's not even his fault. Like, how was he supposed to stop that from happening? It's actually their fault because they got distracted and left it. So, anyway, so Katniss flees and signals the Mockingjays to help track Rue. And this is why I said it's quick and fast. Quick and fast bomb, because she hears Rue calling her name and screaming, and Katniss finds Rue caught in a booby trap. She's stuck under a net. But Katniss releases her, so we think, oh my god, yay, like she's fine, she's safe. But nearby is freaking I was trying to think of his name.
One of the boys.
I was trying to think of
Is it Dewey?
Huey.
Huey.
Yes.
Yes.
Huey. No, his name is Marvel in this
Marvel
movie.
in this movie, right?
Right.
But Huey in the
Jack-
boys, right? Or Jack Quaid's actual act. He knows his name.
All right, so Jack Quaid, he spots them in the forest as like Rue is being rescued, and he throws a spear in Katniss's direction. He doesn't hesitate; he's throwing the spear. And the sad thing is, Katniss like quickly moves, like she's like, "Oh, whoa," and that ends up, and then she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna kill Marvel." She takes her bow and arrow and kills Marvel, but then when she turns around, she realizes that when she moved out of the way, Rue did not, and Rue is pierced in the chest. Is there a chest or a stomach?
You know the chest.
Is it chest? So he is fatally wounded. Oh, like it was so fast. As soon as they connected, it was like she was dead in like 5 minutes.
Right.
Like, damn, yo. I trying to remember if it was that fast in the book. Probably not. The book has time to build the bond.
Definitely a sad scene.
They still did a good job though. 'Cause I like randomly cry. I'll tell you when I cried. And I was like, what? I was fine like 2 seconds ago. Katniss comforts her by singing to her as she dies. And Rue asks Katniss if they were able to destroy the supplies. Like, was it worth it? At least that I'm dying. And Katniss nods yes, that their plan was a success. And when Rue dies, we cut to a scene showing Katniss honoring Rue, laying her on a bed of flowers, and it shows an act of humanity, which is rarely seen in the game. You kill somebody you move on, but she like took the time to lay her nicely on these bed of flowers. And Katniss, knowing that there's cameras all around the arena, puts up a 3-finger salute directly into that camera, which is a gesture for District 12, just showing admiration, saying goodbye. Is that?
Is that how you do it? Like I'm trying to do the signal. I'm probably doing a terrible job with it. It's like I'm signaling okay.
Right. So this is the part that made me cry is when you see her doing the signal and then it cuts to District 11 where Rue is from and everybody does it back to her. And then the guy gets upset, like the man that we're assuming is her father, so, like freaks out and starts like rebelling. Like he's so upset that his child just died, which duh, that he's just like, all right, I'm done with these people. And he starts fighting back with the peacemakers and they riot.
And it seems like the people are behind the father and behind Rue.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely a sad scene. I mean, just the fact that Katniss did that and created, kind of like a burial.
The burial.
I mean, that hit me hard.
You cry too?
I didn't cry, but it's very sad.
They do a very good job at that part because, like I said, our interaction with Rue was very little, and we were crying immediately.
And something to think about is the people at the Capitol and people that are watching this. They're used to bloodshed, to see an act like
That's supposed to be savage. Like, look at these poor people. They're
right,
such
they're supposed to be beneath you, right? And to see something like this act of humanity, like the Capitol, it's gonna make people think twice. Like, wait, hold on.
Are we doing the right thing? Is this the way that we should be punishing them? This is a child. Yeah.
Sure, and just like, am I really watching these kids kill themselves? Maybe it's kind of like an awakening. Maybe some people get enlightened by this.
Yeah. Wow, that's very insightful, Jonathan. He just laughs. All right. So, because of this riot going on in District 11, of course, the peacemakers, they're supposed to talk about it. They don't fight about it. They're supposed to make up and be friends. That was a dumb song I learned in first grade. I'm sorry. But the peacemakers, they're there to restore order. So they restore order with more violence, like pistol whipping people, butting guns in people's faces.
Definitely creating peace.
So, but it's a sign of what, Jonathan?
Rebellion.
Rebellion. So that's not good. So anyway, so Katniss is seen breaking down and crying in the part. Like, this really affected her again. She equated Ruth to Prince. Like, she was like, I'm protecting my sister in the forest. And she failed. The game maker, Seneca, is seen talking to Haymitch. Haymitch is trying to persuade Seneca to not make Katniss a martyr. Instead, give the people something to root for, which is young love. So why doesn't he want Katniss to be a martyr? And why does Seneca want her to be a martyr? Like, he's trying to get her to, like martyr means like you're dying for the cause, right?
Haymitch is trying to find a reason to have them not kill Katniss, right? He wants Katniss to survive, and he's like, all right, so how can I persuade him? I have to give him a good reason, and honestly, he gives him the best reason, because one thing that President Snow warned Seneca is we can't give up too much hope. We have to maintain it. And if she dies a martyr, then it's just a symbol. It's just she just becomes something that people are going to be angry about, and it's just gonna create more friction, more conflict.
I like that Jonathan's getting really insightful for these things. I enjoy it. So over the loudspeaker in the arena, the game makers announced there can now be 2 winners who can come from the same district. So clearly Haymitch was successful in convincing Seneca Crane. Seneca Crane, be careful. So Katniss immediately searches for Peeta. She's like, okay, great, we can both win. Let me help my boo. So she goes to look for her boo. And Katniss finds Peeta. A good thing she went to go look for her boo, because he's camouflaged just in the ground, injured, probably dying. He did the one thing that he could do, was camouflage himself and just let him die peacefully, I guess.
Give him some time.
Right, give him some time to die peacefully. So she cares for him while maintaining the romantic narrative for the sponsors, because it looks like, oh, these guys are really in love. Look how she cares for him. Look how she went to go find him right after that announcement. So, and she also seals him with a kiss on his cheek. So people are like, oh, wow. So we as the audience, we see Gail being like, it's gonna.
Kira's like, oh God, should have me.
I should have made love to her when I had the chance. That was a hot chick quote. Sorry, guys. Dark hot chick joke.
Was the father name Father McGonaghy?
No, he's like Father McCady.
McCady?
Her outsider's like, what? What? Why do you think it's the priest?
Only people who've seen the movie know.
Right? They're like, what are you talking about? So anyway, so Gail's like watching it. So we go back to Peeta because we don't care about Gale, and he's discussing his regret not handing her the bread. Like, I just threw it in the rain, like you were some kind of a dog or a pig. And since that day, he confesses he has been fixated on her, watching her from afar, like trying to be like, I wish she would just see me as not the guy that threw a piece of bread in the pigsty for her to come get. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying.
All right, because I really like her. I do. I'm just a punk, and I didn't just walk it to her and just said, "Fuck the Capitol. Here's your bread."
He's thinking about himself, like, how the hell can I talk to her after that?
How can you, Jonathan? I mean, like, you threw a piece of bread at me in the rain once, and I was like, I gotta find that guy later. He wants to be eating off the floor like a dog.
Candace felt that way, but she didn't know it. She didn't know it yet.
Wow. All right, so an announcement from the game makers lets the tributes know that they have added more food and supplies that they will need to survive. Wink, wink, in the cornucopia. So they're pretty much like, we know you're dying from a wound. So that medicine that you need that's gonna fix that is in the cornucopia. So
These and these things. So
right,
that's what they announce it. Everyone, right? They know the situation is for everyone.
so this clearly is what, Jonathan? A way to get them to interact with each other and fight.
Right.
Right. To kill more. Like, these games are getting, let's go. So Katniss quickly gets ready because she's like, I have to go get your medicine. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. Like, you're going to die. And Peeta stops her. He's like, why are you going to go do this? Like, it's definitely a trap. And Katniss kisses him, like, shh, shh, shh. And he's like, all right, now there's no way I'm letting you go. And he convinces her to stay, but we women know what to do. We're like, oh, shh, shh. And then she's like, I'm gonna do it tomorrow though.
Wow.
But shut up though. Here's a kiss. So as Peter's asleep, he's like, she stayed with me. Oh my god. Katniss goes to chill. She's like,
I mean, the fact that Peter did that motivates her even more to go and get the medicine.
Right. Okay, we can look at it. Fine. No, this guy speaks to the men. Whatever. So she fights another tribute immediately as soon as she gets there. Clove wants the business. She wants all the smoke. So Clove is like, nah, I hate you. You're not taking anything. And she's also one of the career tributes. So she's like, we're winning this. So Clove honestly is very close to killing Katniss. Like she's got her down. Like she's got the skills. But while she's about, like right before she's about to kill Katniss, she mentions Rue's demise to mess with her. Like, that's when we killed that little bitch. No, she didn't say it like that, but she says something like that. And this ends up being a bad move because right behind her, unknowingly, is Thresh from District 11 who came there with Rue. And he overhears this and he kills Clove with just pure strength. Right?
He just throws her and he's just dead. I don't know, some of these tributes are super strong. You're seeing Kato just snap somebody's neck like nothing, and Thresh is like, I'm gonna thrash you over here and you're dead.
You tried to do it, but it's Thresh.
I said Thresh, and I said thrash after.
Yeah, I know. I know you were trying to make that pun.
All right.
Play on words. Nice try. So he chooses not to attack Katniss because he knows, like, I'm gonna have to kill her if I want to win this whole thing, but I'm gonna give you this one time because you were nice.
This
to
is
her.
true.
You tried to protect her and you put her on a bed of flowers, and that was really nice. But I'm gonna kill you
I don't
later.
think he saw that, but yeah.
He said just this one time out of respect.
How did he
So
know
if someone
that?
said that, they're basically saying like, if I see you again, I'm gonna kill you.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Right. He's got to survive. He's got to win.
Yeah.
Okay. Katniss is able to retrieve the meds for Peeta. She gives it back to him. And the medicine works like magic, just like the salve that she put on her brother did. And his wounds heal instantly, and he now feels like 100% better. So they have magic chemicals? Magic medicine in this world. So they decide to look for food now that they're both feeling good, and they temporarily separate. While searching for food, Katniss hears a boom almost immediately after they separate, and she thinks Peeta has died. Especially why, Jonathan? Because I didn't really understand like what she saw that made him think.
So when she goes to look for Peeta, she takes a few steps, she sees a jacket with berries over the jacket. Was gathering berries to the jacket.
Oh, so he was bringing these berries back.
So right, and Katniss sees that these are poisonous berries, and he's like, oh my god, this is.
I like their name. It's called Nightlock.
So is she thinking that Peeta ate the berries and died? Thankfully,
It would have been like a very weak way to go.
right?
But it would have been very Peeta.
I mean, it could have happened because the reason it stopped because Katniss went back, and the person that died was someone that was trailing Peeta, who must have been hungry herself, and she was leeching off of his berries.
Dang, that sucks. She was like, "Yes, I'll just take some of these."
There's the same girl that bumped into Katniss in the beginning of the Hunger
Poor
Games.
girl. So luckily, like Jonathan said, Peeta did not eat the berries, and he's still alive. And Katniss is relieved, but not without scolding him first about almost eating Nightlock. Like, you don't know what the hell these are, idiot!
Right.
So there are very few tributes left. It's now nighttime, and we hear another boom, and we don't get to see how it happened, but Thrush is now dead. So I guess Katniss doesn't have to worry about him because he didn't make it out. So game makers release. The game makers are like, all right, we gotta speed this up. We gotta up this entertainment. It is prime time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We need to have something crazy happen. So they release mutated wolf-like creatures into the arena to force confrontation. So the creature chases Katniss and Peeta to where it all started, which is the dead center of the arena at the Cornucopia. Katniss and Peeta then also had to face another monster, which is Cato, and Cato is able to grab Peeta with a knife drawn to his neck. Peeta, in these stories, you could tell the woman who wrote this book, and it's a romance novel because Peeta is the damsel in distress. Peeta has to be saved by Katniss constantly in this series. So he has a knife drawn to his neck, and Katniss has her bow and arrow aimed at Cato. Cato has a short little villain monologue about like, I could see before I even got into these games, the cards were stacked against me because of your stupid little love story, and it's not like it's a thruple love story, so I was never going to be a part of it. And when Cato is saying all this bullshit, Peeta,
I love your explanation, but continue.
Peeta catches Kid off guard and pushes Kid off the structure into the path of these mutant wolves. So that's the end of Cato. I told you, just kill. Just kill. We don't give the reasons.
It's nice for Katniss to end Cato's suffering, and she shoots him in the head.
But I'm just saying, like, don't talk too much because, like, that's usually the moment where the villain dies because he's always got to say his reason.
We could see that Cato was already injured himself, so he was probably like gathering all the strength just to hold.
Oh, he got injured by the wolf.
Yeah, you see his mouth was bleeding, so he was hurt too. So he was like I'm done.
Right. So Katniss and Peeta, Jonathan, they're the last two. Yeah. And we just heard
yeah, right.
And we just heard that announcement recently that two winners from the same district could win, and they're the star-crossed lovers, right? So, Jonathan, what happens right when they're about to celebrate?
You know what? We can only have one winner.
The Capitol announces over the loudspeaker, "Psych!" So you guys have to kill each other because we're back to one winner only. And they're like, oh, you think you're gonna play us, huh? You gonna play us? All right, cool. So Katniss takes out the night block berries that are poisonous, and she's like, how about we just let's be Romeo and Juliet right now. Let's be the true star-crossed lovers and end this. So they have no winner, which y'all gonna do with no winners. What'd you say?
I'm surprised she kept the berries, because why would you keep poisonous berries? She must have had this plan.
Maybe she was gonna push somebody on the ground and stuff.
Okay, maybe.
That could be a weapon.
Maybe. All right.
Somebody's water stash.
Maybe she puts it in the tips of the bow and arrow.
Yeah, I mean, it could be used as a weapon.
Just like if it scratches somebody, it could kill them that way. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. So, or maybe she knew that you can't trust the Capitol and to stay ready so you don't have to get
I
ready.
was trying to get at.
Anyway, so she's like, let's see what they do with no winners. And the world is watching. Like, you really gonna let them kill themselves? Like, this is what's gonna happen? So the Capitol, I like how they answer. They're like, no, wait, stop. Because, the whole time they've been like, but now they're like, no, wait, hold up. And they're like, you guys are both winners. Okay, got it, cool. And so after that, obviously they're both winners. Katniss and Peeta are celebrated publicly. You think everybody's happy, like, yay, the lovers won. Everything's great. They get to live in the capital. They get to share their wealth with their families. And they continue to play this possibly fake love story, even though it seems like there is some love there, but ultimately it wasn't true from the beginning, at least on her.
It seems like it's kind of forced on them.
Right. So, but we see that some people are upset. Jonathan, do you want to tell us why people are upset? Why there might be an issue with them pulling a fast one on the Capitol?
I think overall they didn't want Katniss to survive. They definitely didn't want to be a martyr. They just wanted to try to make sure that they could just swipe this story under the rug. And now this becomes even more of a thing, having the first two winners. They fought back. she's created another act that made her even more heroic. She was just has that aura of hero. She volunteered. She tried to save Rue. She shows compassion. She shows she's fearless to the point she would even kill herself and show them that we're not going to go by your rules.
Right. So obviously the Capitol is angered by her defiance, specifically President Snow. Haymitch warns Katniss, like, he's onto it. He's like, they're not going to be happy about this because you're now a political threat. Like, you put batteries in everyone's back that maybe we can create another uprising and rebel again. Maybe it's time to end this. And so she's realizing, oh, wait, I was just trying to survive. I was just being a good person. I was just being myself. And I mean, maybe she's not mad about it, but she just didn't realize what she was doing in that moment. Seneca, who's been calling the shots, he's the game maker, all the blame seems to fall on him because he ultimately made the decisions. And you see that he is put in a room where he has to eat the Nylock berries.
Right.
I remember this scene when I was watching.
Right. You see the bowl of the berries in the middle of the room, and you hear the door lock. So
You're not leaving this room until you don't.
so we can only assume that he actually ate the berries and died.
Right. And I don't remember him in the following movies.
So this is the reason why we think he actually did it.
Right. So then we go to the heroes back in District 12, and they are being celebrated. They've only had like one winner, and now they have two more. And it's one of them is really fucking cool and everybody loves. And we end the movie by seeing President Snow not pleased, and he storms off. And that's how the movie ends. And they made no more movies after this, so we have no idea what happened.
So it was 4 movies, right? Not 3, because the last movie they did in 2 parts.
So yeah, I feel like Twilight started. The Twilight started. Yeah, I feel like Twilight started that whole split the last book into 2 movies. I think it was Twilight.
I remember being annoyed by that, but
I think Harry Potter took 80 years to finish their series, so they were probably third to do it. It was probably Twilight, Hunger Games, Harry Potter, and then they had the intention to do it for Divergent, but Divergent fell apart. So maybe people were tired of the sagas after that. Let's get into the final thoughts. John, what do you think of the film's rewatchability, character development, plot, and entertainment factor out of 5 Mockingjays?
all right, so I'm gonna go with 4 for rewatchability. Well, watching the movie again, I was like, you know what? I'm happy I was watching the movie because it's still good to me, and it's been a while. Watching this movie made me want to watch the next few movies. Like I would want to continue character development. Honestly, it was always just about Katniss and her character development. Like she's just stayed true to who she was, and to me, that's enough character development. Because she just added to like how noble she is, right? And she just with every single action she took, she shows you what a hero is like, and she only has to be able to go into these different situations to show you what she's capable of and what she can do to move forward. So fun originality, I give it a 4. Entertainment factor, I give it a 4. So 4 all the way through, 4 out of 5. It's a good movie.
Oh wow, you really like Hunger Games, even today. All right, so rewatchability, I gave it a 2. I think a couple watches is good enough for this film, especially if you read the book as well. Once you know what happens at the end, you will never get that same emotional reaction to the twist or dramatic finish. Wait a few years before watching the whole franchise again. Character development of 5. Many characters developed throughout this film, but that is definitely the case for Katniss and Peeta. Katniss is all business, and her main goal is to come home for her family. As the movie continues, she learns to care about others like Rue and Peeta and tap into her soft side and use emotions as a strength. Peeta becomes stronger throughout the film, using the memory of a weak moment in his life to become a better person. Script and story development 4. I think they did a great job in adapting the book to film. I haven't read the book in years, but I feel like they hit all the important details in the movie. They succeed in the most important parts, which is making us care about Katniss and Peeta. Even though we meet Rue for a hot second, we still care about her and react to her death. Entertainment factor 4. There is lots of great action, drama, and some levity. Even though it's an over 2 hour film, it moves nicely. Final score 3.75 out of 5 Mockingjays. I was said most triumphant stars. I didn't already say it. Last but not least, it's time for bonus features. Our throwback nod to the deleted scenes and extras we used to devour on DVDs. Here's where we share our picks for the perfect companion films. So I said, obviously, and I'm sure this is Jonathan's recommendation, you got to continue the saga, of course, and see where Katniss goes after this film. Obviously, it leaves on a cliffhanger. So that would be checking out Catching Fire and Mockingjay Part 1 and 2. Like we said, the last book is split into 2 movies because we got to get that bread. Right, Jonathan?
Yeah.
All right.
So my recommendation is The Maze Runner and Divergent. They're definitely not as good as The Hunger Game, but I still feel like it's a good watch. You know, it's entertaining. To me, it still has a good plot. Check it out.
I never saw The
Maze
Maze
Runner and
Runner.
Divergent caught my attention. And you know, as it continued, you know, I kind of like got away from it. But
Didn't Dylan, he got really hurt, I think, on the set of one of them, and that's why they kind of discontinued. And then what was the other one? I almost said McBride. I was like, no, it's not that. What's the other one?
Divergent.
Yes, those were good. The books were better, definitely. That's probably why it didn't make it to its last film. Very cool. So we made it to our credit sequence. Thank you so much for listening to the 46th episode of Two Tickets, One Theme. Follow us on our Instagram page at Two Tickets, One Theme. You can follow Jonathan Manzano at jmanzano1989. And you can follow me at Tionni WA. Please follow and rate our podcast on Apple and Spotify. Please do. This is 46 episodes. It's starting to be absurd. We need more views. We need more listens. Come on, guys. We all love this. Listen, please. Also, don't forget that we're now on YouTube, so stay tuned for the link to the video version of our podcast. Also, we'd like to up those views, up those likes, up those follows. We're doing a lot of work here for you guys. We enjoy doing it, but it would be nice if you watched it. Thank you, and see you for the next episode.